Hey, so there's a lot of different ways that people make synthetic dreads, like this. I figured that I'll show you my specific way because there's a lot of different ways, and personally I like my way best. People are always asking me how I make them, and I'm pretty sick of explaining it, so I figure I make a video, I'll show you how to do it, and then I can just make people watch the video. So I start off by finding something where I can tie like a piece of fabric, like this. The type of fake dread that I'm making are the kind with these little loops on the end. There's other kinds, there's double-ended ones. Personally, I like the ones with the loops on the end. That's what I do. So that's what I'm going to show you guys how to do. I start off with a bag of this stuff, and I buy it at like a beauty supply store. You can find them like all over the place. Personally, the one I go to for like you Boston area people is I go to Venus Cosmetics in I go to Venus Cosmetics in Central Square, and this costs me $2.50, so it's not super pricey stuff. If you want to buy the fake dreads pre-made online, it costs you like so much more money. Make them yourself, follow the instructions in here. Don't buy them online from some person who's going to charge you a fortune. The amount of the hair that you use is dependent on like various, like how wide or how long you want the fake dreads to be. So I'm gonna make this to go with these ones. So what I'm gonna do here is just cut the hair in half. So I've got another half of hair sitting over there, and I've got this. That looks like a good amount to me. I loop it around. I don't like to have it exactly perfectly even. So then I go and I take a pet brush and just start back combing. So now you're left with this kind of like big poofy mess, which when you twist it so like this, it starts resembling what you want it to look like. So put that aside and then move it on to the next one and just repeat like that for a while. Alright, so here I have like a ton of these things, and at this point you're probably really super sick of backcombing. So here I have, this is just half the hair in the bag of the purple and half of the hair in the bag of the green, and so I could have twice as many if I'd used both full bags. So like as you can see, it's pretty cheap to make these. Obviously this poofy thing like this is not the same as this. Imagine that through this tutorial you want it to look like this, not this. So what you need to do is you need to seal it with heat, and There's a lot of different ways that people do it. The way to seal it that I personally like is to use boiling water. A lot of places will talk about like using a steamer to do that. I don't own one of those. I don't even know where you buy one of those, and I don't really feel like spending money, especially when you can use boiling water, and I've never had a problem with that. In the past, I tried using like a flattening iron, and I had like so-so-ish results with that. Like it sort of worked, but it was a real pain in the neck. So from my experience, I found that boiling water is the best way to seal this. Alright, so I take the dread and just put on another little piece of fabric so that I don't lose the loop. And at this point, what I do is I just twist it around. So now it sort of looks a lot more like the other thing because of the way it's twisted. Alright, so I have the twisted dread here in my hand. The water is boiling. And first thing I do is I just sort of dip it into the center to get the center part started. And then I dip this part. I just sort of inch my way down, dipping the dread in. And then for the end, I usually let it just sort of drip down onto it. You gotta be careful not to get your fingers burned at this step because it's very easy to have that happen. And it didn't seal quite right here because I think the water was just a little bit too cold. So I'm just gonna reseal this middle part of it better. Let it sit in here for a bit. And there you have it. It's a lot tighter looking. Take it off the loop. Put it in there to dry. At this point, you should have an assortment of finished fake dreads. And also probably a few minor burns. Over time, they might get like beat up and start to like fall apart a little. And what helps is you can just go and do the same thing with putting them in the boiling water to reseal them. And that fixes a lot of the problems, and you can get like a longer lifespan out of the dreads. Now you have a bunch of finished fake dreads, and the question is, how do you get this into your hair? Which would be the ultimate goal. So there's different ways to put in. As I've been saying the whole thing, this is just how I do it personally. Some people go and they section their hair and have it like perfectly exact, but like, I don't know, I think that's a little overkill. I just grab an amount of hair and I stick my fingers through the little loop that we made. And I just go and braid it in. So there I have it braided in. I take a little mini elastic and attach it. You probably want to attach it a little further down, but you know, just for the sake of this video, it doesn't matter that it's not put in perfectly. And then you can do your whole head. That's all.